is Susie, and today I'm going to share with you my flaxseed bread recipe. Almost everybody that I know has been making bread on a daily basis, and I thought it's time that we get a little fiber into those loaves that you're baking. This recipe is really it's not more difficult than any other recipe. It just has a few other ingredients that you need to add. Now, the star ingredient is going to be our flaxseed. And flaxseed is really great for the digestive system. It's very high in omega-3 fatty acids, and it's very high in fiber. So not only are you aiding the digestive system, you're helping process those foods and get rid of all the toxins that you don't need. It's also been said to be very good for heart health and helping to reduce cholesterol levels. I've also read that it aids in menopausal symptoms. It helps with weight loss, but I think that's because it makes you feel full, so you don't eat as much. So the recipe is easy, and it's going to be ready in a couple of hours, so let's get to it. We're going to need to start with a cup and 3/4 of, or 1 3/4 cups of warm water. And to that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of dry active yeast. And we're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes until it foams. So I'll be right back when that's done. So it's been 5 minutes and our yeast is foamy and cloudy. So now to this, we are going to add, I'm just going to go in order, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of oil. I'm using olive oil, but you can use canola oil. 3/4 teaspoon of salt. 1 cup of flaxseed meal. Now, you're better off buying the flaxseed and grinding it at home because it extends the shelf life. So for 1 cup of ground flax seeds, you are going to need 2/3 cup of the actual flax seeds, and that will give you 1 cup of the meal. And then you just want to mix that together. And then at this point, once you've got that mixed together, we're going to add add 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Now this recipe is going to take 2 cups of whole wheat flour. We're using 1 cup now. It takes 3 cups of flour altogether, 2 cups of the whole wheat, 1 cup of white all-purpose flour. So now we've got 1 cup of whole wheat flour mixed in here, and you just want to incorporate it. And now that we've got it all incorporated, we're going to add the other cup of whole wheat flour. And mix that in. And this is just a very soft dough at this point. So now we've got that incorporated. And now we're going to add 1 cup of white all-purpose flour. One cup. And now you're just going to mix this together until it forms a dough, and then we are going to put it in our KitchenAid, and we're going to attach the dough hook to this, and we're going to blend it for 10 minutes. So this will take a minute or two. Right now it's a little bit raggedy, as you can see, but almost all of the flour is incorporated. Okay, so that's pretty good. And now we're going to take our dough. Let me move this out of the way. Now we want to make sure our bowl is secure. Attach our dough hook, and we're going to put this dough right into the bowl. And there's a little bit of flour left over. And now we're going to put this on medium speed. And we're going to knead it for 10 minutes. So I'm going to put the timer on, and I'll be back when that's done. Now we're only halfway through, but I've just taken a spatula, and you just want to scrape down the sides because it's getting very sticky. And then continue mixing for the rest of the time. So it's been 10 minutes. And the dough is very, very stretchy, as you can see, and sticky. So I am going to use a spatula. I'm just going to use the spatula, and I'm just going to spray it along with my bowl, and just oil the bowl. And this will also prevent my hands from getting too sticky. So we're just going to pull this away from the hook. This is sticky. Okay. And then just scrape your dough together. So here is the dough. As you can see, it is sticky. Ugh. There you go. That's very sticky. And then I just add a bit more oil. And that's it. Just oil your dough. And I'm going to grab a little tea cloth, and I'm going to cover it, and I'm with a tea towel, and I'm going to put it in a warm spot and let it rise until it's double in size, and that should take about an hour. So I'll be back once the dough has risen. So it's been an hour. We can turn off our timer. Oh yeah. That has definitely doubled in size. And now we're going to take this out and put it in a greased loaf pan. So now it's been an hour, and you can see how this has definitely doubled in size. And you're just going to take a loaf pan. This is 8 by 5, or it's 8 by 5. And we're just going to add a little bit of oil to our hands. And you're just going to punch down the dough, but you are not going to knead it. And we're just going to fit it into the pan neatly. And we're just going to spray it with a bit of oil. And now we're going to let this rise until the dough has risen at least 1.5 inches above the base of this pan. So I'm going to put it back in my oven with the light on, and we'll come back when this is ready. So it's been about half an hour, and the bread is definitely risen at least 1.5 inches. So now we're going to put it in our oven to bake at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. Very carefully put it in the middle rack of our oven, and we're going to time it for 45 minutes. See you in 45. So it's been 45 minutes, and our bread looks amazing. Look how beautiful that loaf is. Wow. And the house smells so fantastic. So we are going to let this sit and cool for 5 minutes. So it's been 5 minutes, and our bread has cooled down. So we're going to be able to just pop it right out of the tin. And then we're going to, actually, I'm going to let it cool down on its side, just so it doesn't, with its own weight, doesn't compress. And we're going to let it cool for 30 minutes, then I'll be right back. So it has been half an hour. And the bread has totally cooled. It looks perfect. It's really, really looks great. So let's slice into it. Wow. So it has, it's very moist, but it's not super dense. So I'm going to cut a couple of slices. And this is fantastic toasted as well. And this bread I keep in a plastic bag, and you can keep it in the fridge and it will keep easily for a week. So my favorite way to have the bread is on a tomato and mayonnaise sandwich, which we just butter one side. It really smells fantastic. A little bit of mayonnaise. I have some nicely ripened plum tomatoes. These are really nicely ripened. They're very, very red. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and we'll just slice it in half. And look at how it's really nice and moist. It is delicious. Not just my sandwich, the bread is delicious. It's still slightly a little bit warm, but if you're looking for a new bread recipe that is high in fiber and really delicious, whether you've eaten it fresh or whether you toast it, definitely give this a try. I guarantee it's going to satisfy your taste buds. So if you try this recipe and you like it, I hope you share it. Enjoy!